Welcome to it. It's a Sports Bar weekend on Saturday night. I'm Adam Catterall. Pleasure as always to be in your company. Perry Groves alongside me, and it's action-packed. We're going to be covering more ground than Jake Paul tonight, let me tell you, without throwing ourselves to the floor. We'll talk about him, no doubt, and his escapade with Anthony Joshua. We'll also talk a little bit about a fantastic win tonight by Troy Williamson in the British, European and Commonwealth title fight against Callum Simpson. A bit of proper boxing. But our main focus tonight, as we kick off the show, is all about the football. Top of the tree at Christmas, it is the Arsenal. I've got the right man next to me to give us an opinion on how he's feeling about his team bouncing into the new year. Also, Leeds United. Where have you come from? Woof, 3 weeks ago, I thought you were dead and buried. DCL's doing a bit. Is he going to get himself on the plane for the World Cup next year? You lot are 6 points now above the drop zone. West Ham are in there. How are the Hammers feeling? 03717 22 3344. The phone lines are open. Get stuck into the show. It's action-packed. It's a sprint, not a marathon tonight. Just like Jake Paul. Pel, how are you, matey?
Buenas noches, señor.
Buenas noches.
¿Cómo está?
Indeed,
¿Cómo
mate.
está? ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, indeed.
Très bien.
Listen, we are all in, straight in to fifth gear, mate. There's no easing them in tonight. We are just going to hit it as fast as we possibly can because we've got a lot to get through. It's been an action-packed day in the world of football, first and foremost. Blackburn Rovers, well done, lads. You put a smile on my face, bouncing into Christmas. 2-0 victory at home. Yeah, it only took me a minute. There you go, I'm in.
Minute and a half.
I'm in. There you go. Well, listen, got to celebrate the victories. You don't get many of them, pal. So I'm jumping all over
You're
it.
on a festive high.
Absolutely. And some fantastic victories as well, and talking points coming off the back of Premier League games today. We'll start with what we've just been listening to here, live and exclusive on talkSPORT, with Arsenal getting the job done against Everton. There is a big talking point with a bit of VAR in there, mates. But your boys are top at Christmas. How are you feeling?
All it does, I've got to be perfectly honest, is it just eases the pressure a little bit because this was a massive game. Man City obviously winning 3-0 against West Ham, which we'll talk about later on. So then putting the pressure on, going top. So then it's whether Arsenal, how they reacted. And after the game, like 1-0 to Arsenal has quite a nice ring to it, to be fair, doesn't it? But it seemed like it was a comfortable one, and it wasn't, because when it's 1-0, there's always jeopardy. You know, there's always a chance that like O'Brien's got a long throw, that the ball comes into the box. And Arsenal could have been a bit more clinical in the second half. When Everton were the best team for that first 10 minutes of the second half, put Arsenal on a bit of pressure, but they couldn't create any chances. David Raya, he didn't have a save to make through the whole game. I think he collected like 5 crosses. Then if you look, Saka has a chance. It's cleared off the line by Tarkowski. Trossard should score. It's inside the post. Zubimendi hits the post as well. So you have to kill teams off. And I said, whilst it's 1-0, neutrals are probably looking at it thinking, oh, that was quite comfortable for Arsenal. But Arsenal fans, myself included, are looking at it and you've got that nervousness in your blood that you think that something could happen because we've conceded goals in the last 5 minutes of games quite regularly. So winning 1-0, as I say, it just eases the pressure because you know that if it had been a draw or they'd have got beat tonight, then there'd have been a big pile-on from the media saying, you know, have they bottled it? You know, Man City put the pressure on. So whether they fly home or whether they're on, in the old days, you'd be on the coach, a couple of beers at the back thinking, right, here's our Christmas started quite nicely. It's like it just eases the pressure. And I've got to say, hats off to Victor Gyökeres, because he took the penalty. That is massive cojones because he knows that he's under the spotlight. Obviously, he got injured against Burnley when he scored his goal. He come back and he's still sort of scratching around for his form. So for him to put himself up there to take the penalty in front of Saka and Odegaard was massive. And it was the old-fashioned... Remember Ray Stewart used to play for like West Ham? Just right, no, I'm going to just put my laces for it. I'm just going to smash it down the middle of the goal. So, you know, it's big up to Gyökeres for taking that responsibility.
Did you get away with one with the VAR, mate?
What was that? No, I didn't see it. Sorry. I've gone all Wenger. No, sorry, I didn't see it. Was that? When I saw it and you see the replay, 100% it's a penalty. Because Saliba, as Barry lands, Barry just gets there and he kicks the back of his calf. I've seen them given. Now, all you want, if you're with football fans, all you want is consistency.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you, from now to the end of the season, you'll see a penalty given for exactly the same thing. So Everton fans, 100% I get your frustration because I thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, they can feel a little bit aggrieved with that. You'd listen, obviously, one of the main guys in Dewsbury Hall not available tonight, and obviously a couple of lads out with the AFCON and what have you. Grealish is Grealish and he's doing his thing. I just feel they're a little bit short in that central 9 position. If they've got someone that can cause a little bit of ag, you know what I mean? Obviously, the kid that was playing in the first half, it wasn't sticking. It was coming back. Arsenal had a lot of the ball. I think if they can improve in January, I think Everton will do all right this season.
Yeah, they're the record against obviously the Champions League sides. They've lost. I think it's all 6 now. So they can be the best of the rest. In that middle tier. Yeah. And obviously going to the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Obviously got beaten today, but as you said, there wasn't really anything for the Everton fans to get behind. Do you know what I mean? To get behind their team and create that positive energy, which then can transmit itself to the players. You say Barry playing up front, he's willing and he wins his headers, but as you said, that he's not got the physical strength in his body at the minute. He hasn't grown into his body. Built his muscles up basically in his upper body and in his thigh muscles. So after the game, it seems like it's comfortable, but during the game, trust me, it wasn't comfortable because when they're giving needless throw-ins away, when O'Brien's lobbing in, all you need is one to bounce down and a bit of a ricochet, and we definitely got away with the penalty, 100%.
Listen, you've been in a title race, mate. When does it get serious? When do you start in your own mind starts really zoning in on the possibility of becoming champions? I
think you get to the end of February and you're still in that position. You're still in the top 2. And the thing about this is you want it to be the destiny in your own hands.
So you'd rather be the defending, the one at the top,
I'd much rather
than chasing.
No, I'd much rather be. Anybody who says you want your points in the bag,
even though you won it by chasing.
And actually, the Liverpool one in '89, I think we was 9-10 points clear around about Christmas time. Liverpool went on an unbelievable. They chased us down. The one in 1990-91, we only lost 1 game that season. We were the front runners then. So because we'd won it in '89, then we had the know-how how to get through games and had that confidence because you have to win. The first one is the hardest one to win. It's probably like you love your boxing, Adolf. Probably like the first world title when you have your world title fight. 100%, that's the hardest one to win. Once you go into those fights and you go into those big games in football, you look around, you have that bit of assurance and you think, we can do this. So
you'd rather be ahead?
Oh, 100%. Okay. Yeah, because especially now, because coming into Christmas, obviously got a game against Crystal Palace on Tuesday where Arteta will quite rightly rotate because that would be the 4th priority, not being big time, but the standard Arsenal are at the moment, it has to be the Premier League or the Champions League. Yeah. That is the prerequisite. It's got to be one of those 2. If you win one of those 2, then you say, right, we've had a real good season and we can kick on. But you know what's right, if you win the FA Cup and League Cup, that ain't going to be seen to be being enough, for this Arsenal team. This Arsenal team and squad, I think it's the strongest squad because they've had injuries, come through that. And you say, had a little bit of a stutter, got away with one against Wolves last week with the 2 own goals. But the positivity players would have taken from that is not the performance and not conceding against Wolves. It's the way they reacted because the stadium, the Emirates went flat and nervy and the players reacted straight away, got it out to Saka, he crosses it. Then obviously there's the own goal, but they'd taken confidence from that late win.
We're going to get back to your calls in a minute, 03717 22 3344. But Sam Matterface is with the Everton manager, David Moyes, at the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Congratulations on your... I was just going to say Happy Christmas, actually. But the performance was pretty good from your side in a tight game. With all the absences that you had, you competed well with the team top of the table. You're just a little bit disappointed that it was a moment of madness, really, that cost you in the game.
It was. Look... A lot of credit to the players and the players who come in as well, because obviously we've lost a few players and I thought they competed brilliantly well. Their effort, everything we'd hoped for, they gave, but the quality was probably missing. And then, as you alluded to there, why would you everybody knows you sort of get your hands above your head nowadays, then you're probably going to have a penalty. Look, if you're making a small case, if you look a bit closer, you might have thought he's pushed a little bit from behind. Was it enough to force his arms to go up in the air? But even if it was, then you can't do it now. So no excuses for it, and it was a big mistake.
Were you slightly disappointed that you didn't get a penalty yourself when Tierno Barry seemed to be fouled inside the penalty area? Insufficient contact, apparently.
Yeah. Well, what would have been more contact? The boy kicks him in the back of the leg, and it looks as if he gets him in the Achilles. Look, I think it was a real close call. I don't know who made the call, but. He should have probably sent the referee to the screen and had said, "Oh, look, made the referee make the decision, not somebody in a booth wherever he is."
You're in the top 10 of the table at Christmas time, halfway through the season. I know that's not exactly where you want to be, but you've got a lot more points at this stage of this season than you did at the end of last. Do you still feel that the team is travelling in the right direction?
Yeah, I do. I think that the team's doing really well. We've come up against Arsenal today, which was always going to be incredibly tough. We've lost a penalty kick. We had a good game last week against Chelsea. We've done a lot of good things, didn't get the points. So I'm just a wee bit getting annoyed with myself that I'm saying well done on a lot of the occasions. We know goals. You know, if anything, I was short of maybe the quality. I needed somebody to pull something out the bag and get us a wonder goal or something different. We didn't make many chances, but Arsenal, in truth, as everybody knows, don't concede too many chances either.
You talked about goals there, and it has been a little bit of an issue for you, and you've taken a lot of goals out of the team because of the absences at the AFCON as well. So how do you solve that going forward, and can you dip into the transfer market maybe in January to do that?
I don't know if we can solve it completely. I think finding somebody who's a prolific goal scorer who's going to help you is not that easy, and someone who could come into the Premier League and stand out. So I don't know if we're possibly in that situation, but we'll always be looking. We're not looking, but you know, if I said that I thought we were going to definitely get something, I'd be lying.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Cheers. Thanks, lads.
David Moyes there, speaking to Sam Matterface. We'll get back on the Everton train in a minute, but first of all, Dave, how are you, mate? You good?
Hello, boys. How you doing? All right?
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, very well indeed, mate. What do you want to say?
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what. Everyone's going to think I'm mad because we're top of the league, but he has served up some dross there. And against Wolves, I've got to be honest with you, mate. I've been talking to a couple of mates on WhatsApp, Arsenal supporters. He has had 6 years, £1 billion. He's bought a £67 million striker that can't hold the ball up. He's got a nut. He bought on Jesus, who's 5'9", about 11.5 stone, and he's held the ball up better than our 6'2", 14.5 stone striker. The fella's not good enough. I mean, listen, I'd love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong at the end of the season, but I just don't think it's good enough. I think that we're panicking. That's a poor Everton side, and exactly what Perry said. It's a penalty all day, absolutely all day. So we've got away with one. I know we move on, and people are going, "Oh, you're top of the league, you're moaning," but I don't look at it through rose-tinted glasses. I look at it from a point of view. The last 3 seasons, we have done exactly the same. We've got to this point, and all of a sudden, we stop playing. And all of a sudden, it becomes nervy. And you know, I was at Anfield when Mickey Thomas scored that goal. I'm that old, right? I know you need to get over the line once, people say, but he's had everything given to him that no other club would Arteta still have a job. And that tonight was absolutely rubbish.
Dave, I bet you're a bundle of fun being around Christmas, aren't you? Your
Mate,
team, no, honestly, are you a Spurs fan?
No.
Yeah, because what you just said there, right? The one reason...
I've had a season ticket longer than most people have been alive.
The one reason that we are where we are is because of Mikel Arteta. We were irrelevant before he became our manager. He's changed the culture. He's changed, like, the big-time Charlie. Got rid of him. Well, what do you want then, Dave? So we're top of the league.
I want him to win the league. I want him to win it.
Right, okay. So this is...
Now, we've been top of the league for 3 seasons.
Yes, but this is the time. I agree with you, because Arteta's got 18 months on his contract, and he knows himself this is the season where I said Arsenal have to win the Premier League or the Champions League. You're an Arsenal fan. Come on in a moment. You want to just get a grip yourself. Top of the Champions League and top of the Premier League going into Christmas. Are you? What would you rather be, Man United?
No, that's not a comparison.
Yes, it is, because that's where we were.
No, it isn't.
It is. That's where we were.
You can't say what would you rather be.
We were Manchester United, Dave.
If you start,
why am I arguing with an Arsenal fan? Am I going mad? Is this a parallel universe?
You can't guarantee. You can't.
Sense of entitlement does my head in.
It's not a case of sense of entitlement.
It is. What do you want?
We haven't won the league for 21 years.
Yeah, but what do you want? Your team.
Win the league.
Your team is relevant.
He's had £1 billion. So
was every other team. So like no other team spent money.
And that was so what? And they've won. Man City have spent money and won it. Chelsea have spent money and won it.
Yeah, but
Man United,
the rules are different now. This PSR. I don't know if you know that back in those days, Man City and Chelsea could spend what they wanted with no ramifications at all. You can't do that anymore.
They've still spent it.
So you're not happy. You're an Arsenal fan. Have you seen his team win 1-0 away from Everton?
I'm not happy with the standard of that.
You're going to give your season ticket up?
Am I going to give it up? Why would I give it up?
Well, you got the ump.
But what? Because you're not. What? Because I'm not. I'm not. Well, do you know what? That season ticket and the money that I've spent over the years gives me the right to have that opinion.
You have the right to have your opinion, but Dave,
I'll just give you it. That's why you had the show. You've asked people to call in.
Yeah, but be realistic.
My opinion. I'm being realistic.
No, you're not. Your team's top of the.
Of course, I'm being.
Everybody's listening to you and going, "It's that Arsenal fan off his nut." Seriously.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
So you want Arteta out?
What? If he doesn't win it this year...
Oh, now we're coming down a bit. That's a bit... Yeah, exactly. So get behind them this season.
And spent £1 billion.
So was other teams. That's what you do to win the Premier League. And the squad we have now is the strongest squad we've ever had, right? So now, I agree with you, there's no excuses not to win one of the big ones. But where we are at the moment, it blows my mind that Arsenal fans are moaning. I honestly, it's like, go do a bit of yoga, have an ice bath, and calm everybody down. Can you imagine, Dave, what they would be like if we hadn't won tonight?
Surely when you won the league, not every performance was pretty.
No, that's the point.
You had some ugly ones, didn't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, what happens, we played Everton at the right time, to be fair, because obviously Dewsbury Hall's injured, and Jai's obviously, and Gabe gone to the AFCON. So you played Everton at the right time, right? But you have to get over the line in these games, because teams are sitting deep. Everton didn't come out. We should have been more ruthless with chances we had. Found a way to beat Wolves. Honestly, imagine sitting with Dave around the Christmas table.
I kind of like Dave. Wayne, how are you, mate?
How's it going, boys? You okay?
Hello, Wayne.
Mate. Are you on the same ilk as Dave, or are you somewhere else, mate? Where are you?
I'm getting annoyed with the Arsenal fans, to be honest, mate. They need to get behind the team, accept that we've had a bad performance, won the 3 points, which we haven't done in previous years. Yeah. We've had a bad performance and lost. We're still top of the league at Christmas. What more do the fans want?
Do you know what, Wayne?
What more do they want than 3 points and top of the league?
Dave, who just came on, right? He is an Arsenal fan who's looking at that game, hoping that we draw or win, so he can go even stronger. Do you know what I mean? Even stronger.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
And that is ridiculous. It's not a fan. You should be behind your team. He should be in the stands screaming and shouting.
Wayne, just bear with me 1 second. Stay there for a second, mate, because I've got your manager with Sam Matterface, so let's get down to the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Here's Mikel Arteta.
Okay, let's go. Hello, how are you? Merry Christmas, 2 seconds. And we're live in the tunnel with Mikel Arteta. Congratulations, you're top at Christmas again. What does it mean?
Well, very happy to win the game in a really tough place. I must take the opportunity as well to congratulate every Everton supporter, everybody at the club, and everybody who has put any effort into building this incredible stadium, because it was fascinating from the entrance to all the way to the pitch, the atmosphere that created. So we knew it was going to be tough. I think we were quite dominant in big parts of the game, and without scoring the second or the third one in the big chances that we had, we knew at the end it could be tense, even though we haven't conceded any chances. You
like coming back to your old club, especially when you can walk away with 3 points, but it was a very tight game, very few goal-scoring opportunities. Why was that?
Well, because they are very well organised. The moment we open them up a little bit, we have 2 times we hit the post. We had 2 1v1s as well with the keeper when Bukayo is without a goalie there, and they save the ball off the line. So that's the margins in this league, and we expected that. We didn't concede anything, which is great. So very happy.
You mentioned that you didn't concede anything, and it was something actually that both David Moyes and James Tarkowski have mentioned, the very few chances that you give up. Is that going to be the secret to a successful title challenge this year?
Yeah, I mean, clean sheets put you in a great position to win football matches, and we've been very good throughout the season, even though with all the issues that we had in our back line. So great to the boys.
Yeah, you've had a lot of injuries, especially in that back line. What is the current prognosis going forward? Is Gabriel going to be back anytime soon?
I hope they are all pushing to be here as quick as possible. So I hope in the next few games we're going to have a few back.
And a quick word on Victor. What will that penalty do for his confidence?
Well, it's going to help him for sure to put the ball in the back of the net for any striker. It's the most meaningful thing. So they have made a decision to give it to him. Great decision.
Who did that?
I don't know. Between Martin and Bukayo and him, I believe.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Mikel Arteta there with Sam Matterface. Wayne, sorry for cutting you off there, mate. What do you think of what the manager just said?
Oh, it's brilliant. I love listening to the man. He's got it exactly right. Our defence, we only need to score to win at the moment. The defence today, I never once felt like Everton was going to score unless they got the penalty, which I do believe it was a penalty, by the way, Saliba.
Yep.
But I also think that the Everton player could have been sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity on the handball, because that ball was going to be planted on Calafiori's head. So decisions swing roundabouts, but on what Arteta was saying there, I like the sound of it.
Top man. Wayne, have a wonderful Christmas,
Cheers,
mate.
Wayne. Merry Christmas.
Take it easy, boys.
Take care, my man. Listen, keep them coming. 03717 223344. I can see that we've got plenty of calls. Want to hear from some Leeds fans as well. Great victory tonight, 4-1 at home to Crystal Palace. You're absolutely marching out the relegation zone, 6 points above West Ham. Get in contact with the show. How are you feeling about the new year? 03717 223344.
This is a big opportunity to score for the first time since coming back for injury. He's 5 games without a goal. Victor Gyökeres from the spot slams it down the middle and puts Arsenal into the lead. And Victor Gyökeres steps into Christmas with his first goal since coming back from injury to give Arsenal the lead against Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
1-0 to the Arsenal. A man that knows all about that. Perry Groves alongside me for a bit of Sports Bar Weekend. And I'm Adam Catterall. Pleasure to be with you. What did you make of Martin Odegaard? He had hold of the ball for a period of time on that penalty, didn't he? And I know that Saka's been taking him too, but they handed the ball over to the striker that maybe needed a goal.
Do you know what? That was a real telling interview there from Sam, because Arteta saying that it was the player's choice Odegaard being the captain, because normally Odegaard shields the ball for Saka, doesn't he? So, when you have all the furore that's going around you.
Protects the spots and no one's scuffing it up.
Yeah, so he gets it, pass it on. So, for Odegaard to make that decision, obviously being the captain, that's saying to Victor Gyökeres, we believe in you.
Yeah, fair.
This group, because if you remember...
It's a big penalty, that, mate.
It's huge because he knows that he's under the spotlight. He knows that he's getting criticism. He scored against Burnley and he got injured. He's given the penalty. Arsenal did that at Bournemouth, where Kai Havertz was having a bit of a rough time, and Arsenal were 3-0 up, and they gave the penalty to Havertz and got criticised saying that's not professional. Should be professional. You penalty saying, but Havertz was having a bad time, and it was the players again saying to Havertz, "You take it, we believe in you." And he scored, and Havertz kicked on, and he went to a completely different level.
He did.
That is massive from the captain taking responsibility, because Arteta's laughing about it there. Can you imagine if he'd have missed?
Yeah.
So taking responsibility is when you're playing and getting hold of the ball and, jostling your teammates around you. But that's a huge decision from Martin Odegaard to give that to Gyökeres, and he scores. And trust me, it's like an injection of confidence. Just go, there you go. He'll be a different player. Whether he plays against Palace on Tuesday, I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah. But he'll be a different player.
Reece, how are you, mate? Welcome to the show.
Yes, boys. Hello. Yeah, just wanted to know. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. I was just calling through with regards to that Arsenal fan before.
Yeah, man. You can talk about whatever you want, Reece. It's your show, mate.
Go on, mate.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk. I'm a bit of a younger generation Arsenal fan. I'm 27. I've been a season ticket holder for quite a while. Like early stages of the age over at Highbury and then over at Emirates, and I'm just tired of these fans. Like, we get enough with AFTV, we get enough with all these old boys that moan about us playing football and it's this way and that way. When we were playing beautiful football, we were finishing 6th and 7th in the league. Like, it's all right playing brilliant football and looking good on the pitch, but it's about time we won something. So if you have to nick it with a 1-0, you're winning the league off them matches. It doesn't matter how you win it, you win the league.
Yeah, but he spent £1 billion, Reece. Spent £1 billion, mate.
I know, and we all have. I know. Look at United. I know they've spent quite a bit of money. They're sitting where they are. Chelsea spent enough.
Man City's titles ain't come cheap. Trust me.
No, exactly, and that's how I look at it. And I just think, look, we're at a stage now. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. Is this year the year? I think it has to be.
Reece, does it feel different this time?
It does. And to be fair, like. It's hard.
I'll be honest. Like as a neutral who doesn't have a dog in this race, mate, it looks different from the outside. It looks different. There looks like there's a new unity between these lads. There looks like what Perry's just talked about there regarding the penalty and handing it over to Gyökeres to take that penalty today. There feels like there is like there's an
assurance now.
Yeah, an unspoken assurance about these teams.
There's a know-how,
and when you're actually bringing lads in and out of the starting 11, there's not much of a difference.
Well, there's no. Actually, what happens is...
You've got a proper squad now.
Yeah, what happens, Reece, is when they say there's no drop, when you make... They call them impactors now, don't they? Or finishers, whatever. But it's you don't come at the same level. The level actually goes up. Because if you're bringing on an Eze for Odegaard... Eze's coming on fresh. He wants to start, but he's coming on fresh when everybody else is a bit... And you saw Everton... They worked their socks off, Everton, to stop us from playing. And you saw in the last 20 minutes, they didn't have anything in the tank to put Arsenal under pressure because... They've done so well mentally and physically.
It's like fighting Alexander Usyk, pal. He makes you work for a good 8 rounds.
Drains.
And then he takes you out in the last minute.
Yeah, he drains you. And Reece, you're obviously younger generation. You said about, we were Man United. We were irrelevant. We were like 7th and 8th. With Arteta, are you just pleased that Arsenal are now relevant, that Arsenal are in the conversation, and this group of players... coming second 3 times on the trot, that must really do your head in, and that must drive you on.
It does, and I think, look, with my age, I think the times where things were tough, I was still going through school, university, the amount of abuse and slander.
It's called banter. It's called banter.
Bants, mates.
Banter, mates.
Honestly, we've had to go through it, and now to actually be able to come to the party and have a proper conversation and be like, look, we can now look down at people for a little bit.
You got your chest out now, haven't you? You got your chest out now, Reece.
But Reece, right, the thing is though, don't get smug. Just have a wry smile.
No, all it is, exactly.
Just enjoy the Christmas.
At a decent standard as well. So as a centre-back, I understand, like, clean sheets are as more important as winning for me as a centre-back. So I know when we've got a solid defence like that, you've got squad depth, as you said, when they come into the pitch, there's not a drop in standard, and that's crucial. And that's what City's had for how many years? And, yeah, they look good this year, but I think when it comes down to it, we'll nick points where they probably may not, and we just got to keep that run going. No matter how you win it, whether it's pretty or ugly, going away to Everton has never, ever been easy. You look back at the records of it. How many times have they beat us at the old stadium? It's got a massive stadium. You've got to take them wins. They're wins. And no matter how you get it, if you walk away at the end of the year with a title,
no one cares.
Who's complaining?
Exactly.
Reece, top man. Have a great Christmas,
Cheers,
mate.
Reece.
You speak a lot of
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, indeed. Listen, we're switching it. Let's go Leeds. Ben, how are you?
Leeds.
Hello, lads. How are you?
Hi, Ben.
Look at this. Christmas is looking better now in Leeds, isn't it?
Oh, you're just about right. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to get carried away, obviously, because it is stressful being a Leeds fan. I think many Leeds fans can agree. You know, we can have some strange performances and we can have some very, very good ones too, like today. Yeah. You know, and interestingly enough, you know, I mean, being a Leeds fan, and I'm 40 years of age, I've been in Leeds all my life, you know, and I've got to say I've seen how Leeds can play, you know, and I'm talking different teams as well. We seem to have a philosophy, and I was saying to Jason Cundy about this the other week, you know, when we play our game, and that is the sort of football I know we can play, yeah, it's high intensity, it's stressful to watch, it's entertaining, and it's also heavy on the fatigue and on the legs and the rest of it, regardless whether you're a professional or not. I appreciate that. And you can't do that for 90 minutes of a football match. I appreciate it again. But that sort of football is, you know, you can lose a game. I've said this before to me dad, you know what I mean? He said, yeah, but it's gun-ho football, Ben. I said, yeah, it might be, but teams just don't know what to do with it. You know, I mean, there were lots of times in the game where actually I think Crystal Palace thought, what on earth's going on here? You know what I mean? I appreciate, I will say this though, at least, is that with Leeds at least, and Crystal Palace today. Crystal Palace, I understood from talkSPORT the other night, they were talking about like there was some tired legs within Crystal Palace and all the rest of it. So we don't take nothing away from Leeds. I appreciate that, but yeah, what a performance! And if we can carry on like that for the rest of the season, I mean, talking about relegation contenders, no, I'm not afraid of that conversation at all. I don't think there's any need to be if we can perform like that. You know what I mean? But that's intense. That's intense football. Really entertaining, and it was lovely to watch.
Do you know what it is, Ben?
Really, really good.
At home, I think Daniel Farke has had a different philosophy. I think if you looked before the international break, I was just looking at stats. You scored 10 goals in 11 games before the international break.
At home, is it?
No, just in general.
Okay.
Come now, they've scored 14 in 6.
Yeah.
And I think with Calvert-Lewin, obviously,
he's come in, man.
He's purple patch, but Okafor playing up front with Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
And I think the Man City game where you got yourself back into it too, you lost the game in the end, but I think the players got confidence out. And I think Daniel Farke has now thought, you know what, we're not going to try and stay in games. We're going to actually, especially at Ellen Road, we're going to go for teams. And away from home, when you're playing teams against Brentford, you're not going to go there, even though you drew the game, to think, we'll just try and get a draw. We're going to try and beat the teams that are at bottom and in the middle. I think there's a different change in attitude.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Josh, have you seen that change, mate?
Yeah, no, definitely. I thought we were absolutely fantastic tonight. Calvert-Lewin for England.
Mate, do you know something? As an alternate, listen, Harry Kane's going to be your number 9 in it, no doubt about that. But as an alternate, you're looking around for other number 9s that are in form. And the lad, he's going through a purple patch. As Pels just said there, you know what I mean? If he can keep this going for a couple of months, pal, you know what I mean? I think he might be on the plane.
And keep fit.
Yeah,
and keep fit, of course. That's a big thing for him, isn't it?
Because they'd have to manage his minutes. He's got 6 in 5, scored in the last 5 games on the spin. And again, you've watched him play tonight. He's playing free now. You know, when you can tell that he wasn't confident in his body before and he's getting his header where he's getting in positions where centre forward should be. Yeah. Whereas before, he wasn't getting, he wasn't get there. So if you've got a centre forward, you know at the bottom, if you've got a centre forward who can score you between 10 and 15 goals, then you'll stay up.
They've got a chance, man. They've got a chance.
Yeah, especially as a free transfer as well. That's got to be up there with one of the signings of the seasons. Yeah. I know it's early days at the minute, but if he can keep that form going, I think it only bodes well for Leeds and for England going to America.
What about the importance, out of Ethan Ampadu? Not just obviously with his long throws, because someone who made a career out of a long throw. I'm on par with him, but just his leadership qualities.
Mate, he in the midfield today, and I know everyone talks about Adam Wharton, and to be fair, he looked all right today, but how Ampadu and even Stat coming in, you can see the leadership, it's non-stop. He's just absolutely fantastic. Even Brendan Aronson copping a bit of stick. I think that's probably the best performance he's put in a Leeds shirt as well this season, and in his career probably.
So he's staying up?
Yeah, 100%.
Look at that. Christmas dinner's looking good at Josh's house. Good man.
Pixie and blankets.
Back to London we go. Have a good one.
See you in a bit, lad. Ta-da. There you go. Good performance from Leeds, beating Crystal Palace by 4-1 tonight. 6 points above the drop zone. West Ham fans, obviously you played City today and got beat handsomely, and there'll be a lot of teams getting beat handsomely off Man City. But that puts you in the relegation zone at Christmas. How are you feeling looking into 2026? What do you need to do in January? 03717 223344. And we haven't spoke about Spurs, have we? Listen, we've got all giddy about the Arsenal doing the Arsenal stuff, and the Leeds, obviously, with a great performance there. But Spurs, what were you going at today, man? You've got a lot of head cases in your team. Absolute lunatics getting sent off left, right and centre for absolute nonsense. Get in contact with the show. 03717 223344. And don't worry, I haven't forgot about the Jake Paul stuff. We'll do that after 11 o'clock, all right?
$26K for 2026 on talkSPORT.
That's right. We're giving you a chance to win a massive £26,000. What a better way to kick off 2026 than to win some serious catch. Text text win to 83338. Got to obviously enter this via text. It'll cost you £2.50 plus your standard network rate. You can call 0343 423 9761. Lines will close at 12 p.m. on the 9th of January. That's when you need to answer your phone if it does ring. UK residents only. You've got to be over 18. and it's a network promotion. Full terms and conditions are at talksport.com/win. All right, so if you fancy getting your hands on £26,000 for 2026, text the word WIN, W-I-N, to 83338. Do it now. Best of luck.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Beautiful. You're listening to the Sports Bar Weekender on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Perry Groves is alongside me. Let's get back to the calls, shall we? Gary's an Everton fan. Gary, how are you, mate?
All right, lads.
Right, guys, up.
What a silly way to lose a game, made a penalty like that. Unbelievable.
Tell me, explain when you say that. Are you talking about just the silly error that O'Brien makes regarding sticking his hands in the sky because there was no need for his hands to be up there? Or are you talking about the one where you should have got via VAR? Which one are you talking about?
Well, it's one that we give away. Why would you put your hands there?
Do you know what?
I don't get why would you put your hands there.
Do you know what, Gary? I think he panicked because obviously the reputation of Arsenal with like set pieces in corners, and if you look, Nkapia does really well because O'Brien had given the corner away beforehand when he had that little nudge on Gyökeres, which wasn't a penalty. Gyökeres went down far too easily. Yeah. So then as the ball comes to far post, Nkapia just gets at the back of him and just stops him from getting that two-step, to get his proper leverage. And then I think he panics. I think he thinks that Calafiori is going to head it, and he actually hits both hands. Yeah. And it's just like complete lack of concentration.
It's a silly decision.
Yeah. If you're going to give a penalty, you make sure like it's going to be a last-ditch tackle, or you know what I mean. You're trying to stop your team.
There's no other option.
No, exactly. There, you just let it go over your head. Mm-hmm. So as David Moyes, you imagine David Moyes. I think it wouldn't be the hairdryer, it'd be the furnace, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? At half time, thinking so everybody's sitting there thinking, don't make eye contact with the manager because he's going to go for him.
Yeah. Liam, how are you, mate?
How are we, lads? You all right?
Hello, Liam.
Yeah, we're good, Liam. Have you been at the game tonight, Liam?
Yeah, been at the game. The thing for me, I thought Moyes got the wrong decision starting McNeil, if I'm being honest with you. McNeil, since Moyes has come in, looks like a fella that's he's meant to be fine for his position, but he's not a player that we had even under Dyche and Lampard. It's frustrating that we lost the game under the penalty. Again, O'Brien thinks he's playing basketball there. I don't know what he's playing at there, but I thought we gave a good show for ourselves against the league leaders. I saw Robbie after the match as well. I thought, said to him, you need a signing of a striker there if he's going to walk away with the league. But yeah, not the only frustrating thing there is O'Brien. He's done well for us at right back. He's not a right back. He's centre half, and he does something stupid like that. But there's a positive for us, all us Blues. It's my sister's first game, sitting with us at the new ground today. We all thought, there's no injured, there's no guy. But before we did well. So unfortunately, we've come away from the game with a sloppy mistake by the defence. But again, it's a lot of positives going forward. There's Burnley, there's Forest away, and then obviously run into the new year.
You said there about going forward. Was you just a little bit? You're looking for a bit of imagination, a bit of a spark. Being disappointed in Jack Grealish because obviously he did his job defensively, which you have to do against Arsenal. But Jack Grealish, apart from the first games of the season where he had his 2 assists and 2 goals, he was on fire. He seems like he's just dropped off a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say that. If you watch us, every time Jack's on the ball, there's about two players, maybe 3, getting on him all the time. The main thing that Jack's missing, and I think most Evertonians are missing, is an attacking left back. So there's rumours of bringing back Anthony Robinson. If we had an attacking left back, it's the same again for right back as well. If we had attacking full backs like as we used to do under Moyes at the first side, under Martinez, Jack would have had the service there. I understand there's a few Evertonians that might be frustrated with Jack, but again, the lad can't do everything on his own. He's getting doubled up every week. He's holding the ball up. He's trying to create things, and there's no overlap there.
But you know what he needs as well? I know you said about the fullbacks. he needs a centre forward that he can play off.
There you go.
When you're getting doubled up on, you need someone that you can like just ping it into. They hold it up. You play little 1-2s around the box. Then you put the jeopardy in the fullback's mind. Obviously, it's during Timber tonight. Where is he going to go tight? Is he going to drop off? So Everton haven't got a focal point.
Mate, that's the thing that I noticed tonight. The movement in front of him was poor. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall's not on the pitch. He's a guy that absolutely moves from midfield and gives options, doesn't he? The people that are going beyond Jack. Jack's a creative player. Yeah, he can run at people and beat them, but he's also creative with his passing. The centre forward, the movement's just not there for him. They need, I think you've nailed it. The number 9 has got to be a key position, I think, for Everton going into the new year. If they can get somebody that's a little bit more mobile, provides that different option, Dewsbury Hall coming in from midfield, I think they'll be all right.
Got one for you. Calvert-Lewin.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're a cruel man. You're a cruel man. 03717 22 33 We'll get back to your calls straight after the news.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Sports Weekend on a Saturday night. I'm Adam Catterall. Perry Groves alongside me. Phone lines are well and truly open. Lots of calls coming in from various talking points that have happened throughout the course of the day in the world of football. 03717 223344. Arsenal getting the job done on the road. Everton top at Christmas. Doing well in the Champions League. How are you feeling about 2026? Arsenal fans get stuck in. Leeds fans as well. Looking optimistic towards 2026, isn't it? A couple of weeks ago, looked dead and buried. Getting the job done, though, right now. And DCL is doing the business up top. Another great win this evening. 4-1 against Crystal Palace. 6 points above the drop zone. Feeling good about staying up this year? 03717 223344. We'll talk boxing as well. And we'll review every other game before the end of the show. Don't be going anywhere. Let's get back to them phone calls, shall we? Back to Leeds. Sam, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Hello, Sam.
Very well indeed, mate. Listen, not as good as you, pal. 4-1 at home. A couple of weeks ago, I thought to myself, that's Leeds cooked. And now look at you, flying.
I was doing unbelievable. All up to Calvert-Lewin, best striker in the world.
He's the most informed striker in the world.
Best striker in the world, mate.
Yeah.
Best striker in the world.
Oh, stats, you can't argue with stats, can you?
Numbers don't, men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie, mate. Numbers don't lie. Is he
Numbers
going?
don't lie. 6 goals in 5 games.
Is he going to a World Cup for you?
100%. If England want a chance of winning World Cup, he's got to be starting number 9.
In all seriousness, Perry was mentioning a couple of moments ago, mate, that he has noticed a change in attitude from the manager and the team and the way that they're playing over the last few weeks. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that they're a little bit more front foot now rather than passive in games?
Yeah, we were at City away when we went 2-0 down, and he changed to the 3-5-2, and everything just seems to change from then. Like, we just became a more positive team at half time there, and we just seemed to go forwards. And like, we used to go 1-0 up and sit back, and now we're going at teams. It's making a difference. It seems to be a really positive, good team.
If you look at your last 3 games at Ellen Road, where if you're going to stay up, that's where you need to make Ellen Road a fortress. Getting 7 points from those 3 games, the Chelsea performance was like outstanding as well. So you go to Ellen Road, I take it, and it's one of the best football grounds because it's not a stadium; it's a old-fashioned football ground.
Mate.
Proper ground where.
If you used to like playing there?
Yeah, I loved it. Honestly, I loved it. Yeah, even when Leeds were really good at to mark Gary Speed, who's played like wide left and like to pick up from corners. Good luck with that. He was fantastic in the air. But as a player...
Who was left back then? Was it Dorigo?
Tony Dorigo, yeah. And they'd have... it would be Lee Chapman up front, Gordon Strack on the right-hand side, Gary McAllister, centre midfield with David Batty.
Yes.
So, but it was...
Fairclough and White, centre-backs.
Yes, that's
there
it.
You go, mate. Yeah, good.
Yeah, John Lukic in goal, obviously, ex-Schooner.
One of your boys as well, yeah.
But it's that, as a player, it's again, with boxing, when you're going into a boxing match and the stadium what you're in is full or the arena is full, if you've got something about you, feed off that energy. Do you know what I mean?
You want the cauldron.
You want to go in there because you're the pantomime villain. And it does, if you are not mentally strong, it will eat you up. And when Leeds were flying under Bielsa, there was no better ground in the country to go and watch the team play because obviously they went man for man, they pressed everywhere. And in the end, the legs dropped off because you can't keep playing like that season after season. But it must be a brilliant time now to be a Leeds fan.
But if they're like exactly what you've just said there, home form's key for a minute. Keep this going, keep that momentum going. They could pick a couple away from home. They should be fine this season. Rob, do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just need to keep picking up points. Exactly like Farker says, couple of points every couple of games, and we should be absolutely fine. But honestly, Everton must be scratching their heads with Calvert-Lewin situation. To pick him up on a free, if he can stay fit, then he's absolutely flying at the minute. And the shift and the change in the formation has just meant that we've just clicked into gear a little bit, and we should have picked someone up against Man City, and then to play like we did against Liverpool, Chelsea, and then to back it up today with that performance. Well, I tell you what, I'm going into Christmas one happy man.
Do you know what? If you look at the stat, I love a stat. You scored 3+ goals in the last 3 Premier League games at home, the first time in 25 years.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Look at you pulling the numbers out.
But what it means is teams know when you're going to Leeds that you have to match them now. You have to match the effort and the physicality. Just going into January transfer window, where do you think, if you had 2 players or 2 positions, that you'd need to strengthen?
Good question. I mean, I quite like the 3 that they're playing at the back at the minute. I think Biol, although he had a bit of a shaky start, he looks strong back there. Maybe a bit of cover in that position. And although he's absolutely fine at the minute, I think someone with Calvert-Lewin and Nemecha, when he's back fit, just for a bit of support up there, I think might help. But obviously Dan James is out at the minute as well, and that's a bit of a concern. So potentially another bit of a pacey winger, someone that can slot in and help Calvert-Lewin out up top.
Be honest, right? Be honest. Was you a Farker out, and now you've changed your mind?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I was concerned, but I'm quite old school, and you've got to give managers a bit of time. They can work with what they've got. It was a concern going in at the start of the season, given the record that it had. But when you play like you did in the Championship last season, you can't not but give him a chance. And actually, he's had the nous to be able to change it around slightly and know that actually we needed to shift something. He's done that in the past 4 or 5 games, and yeah, even Man City struggled in that second half against us. So I can't complain, and I didn't want him out, but hopefully he keeps going as he's doing at the minute.
Top stuff. Rob, what's going on for Christmas, mate? Where are you?
Well, me other half's dad is a Nottingham fan, right. So I'm gonna try and get down there. So hopefully they don't pick up any points between now and Christmas, and we're above them. So that'll be good fun.
Yeah, and exactly, you can own the table then, mate. Well done, pal. Super stuff. Have a good one, mate.
Merry Christmas, lads. Have a good one.
And you, mate.
Merry Christmas.
And you. Top stuff. Listen, I saw that game. I was at that game. I took my little lad to Man City Leeds. First half, they were awful. They were really poor, and I thought to myself, oh, mate, how were this lot of Premier League side? Second half, there were a little bit of something about them. They got themselves back in, and obviously they got beat by that Phil Foden goal. I've got to take my hat off, mate, because like I said, after the back of that game, even though, you know, a bit of magic from Foden got City over the line, I genuinely thought Leeds were cooked. Genuinely thought they were cooked. But that change in attitude, like you just said there, the little change of formation, he's completely changed the fortunes of this team. If you're a West Ham fan now, you must be nervous. Really, really nervous. I mean, the gap between them and Leeds United is 6 points. Obviously, you got Nottingham Forest in there as well, which is 5 points above West Ham. This January for West Ham, mate, is absolutely massive.
Huge.
They've got to get it right.
They need. We said about obviously teams needing centre forwards. Everton needing centre forward. West Ham need the centre forward because he doesn't. Nuno Espirito Santo doesn't fancy Fulkrug. He doesn't trust Callum Wilson. He's playing, and the thing that does my head, I don't know about West Ham fans, they can say that I'm wrong, but playing your best player out of position in Jarrod Bowen manages that. It blows my mind because I've seen West Ham 4 times this season, and he hasn't played on the right hand side where he's most effective. He's either played as a 10 or as a false 9, and you're thinking he's a player, and Paqueta exactly the same. They need a focal point, and
100%.
Obviously today it's damage limitation. I get it, but he plays sort of Somerville and Bowen as the 2 false 9s, and then obviously they end up going 5-4-1 and trying to see through the game. They concede after 5 minutes and the game's done and dusted. Yeah. So as you said there, out of all the teams at the bottom, the most important January transfer is going to be for West Ham because they need 4 or 5 coming in, and it's whether the board are going to back Nuno Espirito Santo, because if they don't, I thought they'd have enough West Ham because of the players that you need creativity, you need going forward. They're a team that
they've got good players, mate. Very good players,
but they need a centre. They need a real leader, strong physical centre half because at the minute they haven't got one.
03717 22 33 44. If you're a West Ham fan, obviously you might be on your way back from Manchester today. Maybe not necessarily the chat is about today's game. It's about the look into 2026. Get in contact with the show. We'll get you on the radio next. it's only fair that we get stuck into the rest of the game. Some cracking results today. Good game between Newcastle and Chelsea. Newcastle 2-0 up. Chelsea pulling it back 2-2. Wolves, who look like they're going to be setting a record for the lowest points total in Premier League history, getting beat at home to Brentford today by 2-0. City turned over West Ham 3-0. You had a 0-0 draw between Brighton and Sunderland. Bournemouth 1-1 with Burnley. And then, of course, the 5:30 was the Spurs 1, Liverpool 2 game, where Spurs had 2 guys sent off. One of them, Romero, absolute lunacy. But we'll get into all that. And before I get Perry's thoughts on it, let's get Reese's thoughts, because Reese is a West Ham fan. Reese, how are you, mate?
Yeah, guys, how you doing?
Hello, Reese. Good, man. Did you go to the game today? Were you watching, listening? How are you consuming it, mate?
No, I went at the game today. I'm soon to go. I've been to every home game this season. I actually was on with Jason and Jamie earlier. I had a bit of a rant that's been clipped up on YouTube. I've calmed down a bit now. All
right, I like that. You've given us the viral moment. Now you're coming to give us a sense. Right, go on then, pal. All yours, mate.
I'm in a calmer state to digest the mess we're in as a club, to be honest. Yeah.
Go for it.
Can I just say, that all goes back. We had 2 great seasons under Moyes, right? He gets us in Europe twice, 2 years in a row, and we eventually win a trophy. Okay. Most sensible clubs build on that, do they not? Right? And we have. You could write a textbook how not to build on a European success. I mean, and there's one man to blame for that. It's David Sullivan. I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but it's true. There's so many West Ham fans that come on and tell you the
Reece,
same
but
thing.
didn't the West Ham fans want David Moyes out because of the style of football? I was at the London Stadium a few times under David Moyes, and it was pretty vitriolic towards the end of his reign. And
yeah, I mean,
so West Ham fans have got to take some responsibility.
No, I disagree with that completely about us taking responsibility. I mean, I don't know if you watched us in our last season, Moyes. The Conference League win glossed over a pretty terrible season. We was in relegation trouble at Christmas, similar to this season, and we ended up scraping 15th because we won the Conference League, which, don't get me wrong, I was there, loved it. Seeing us lift the trophy there with my dad's memories that last me a lifetime. But if we're going to be honest about it, we beat Larnaca, AZ Alkmaar, Freiburg and Fiorentina, right? A team with the money we spent should be doing that, which, we had to do it. Palace are not doing it this season, but it's a good win in Europe.
Yeah, but all the best teams don't always win cup competitions.
No, but a cup competition, that's 8 games, isn't it? Over a 35 league game season, we were dreadful, and we scraped 15th. With the players we had, that was unacceptable. And Moyes, I like him, he's a good manager, but it reached its natural end point, right? But that's the start of the problems. But you'd argue that replacing your manager that wins you a trophy first since the 80s is quite a big appointment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you think, hang on, let's go and spend some money to get someone out of a contract, a decent manager. No, what do? We go and get a freebie in Julian Lopetegui out of work for a reason, by the way. And that just sums Sullivan up. Who does that? Who replaces one of their most successful managers when, unfortunately, it's just reached the end of the tether?
Yeah, but also
with a free agent manager.
But also
when was the last time you actually bought a manager out of a contract?
We haven't. Moyes was free. All our managers are freebies who are out of work.
I'm just trying to think. It's a long time, isn't it?
But Reece, isn't
also?
Sorry, mate. Isn't this the case that you're going to go on to with West Ham with the owners? They are just happy with survival. There's no ambition there, and in the end, that catches up with you.
Well, let's have it right. They got lucky getting with Moyes. Moyes distracted from the fact they run the club terribly. He got them a trophy, and fair play to Moyes for that. But look how he runs the club, Sullivan. He hires a director of football once, and unfortunately, at Tim Steindon, yes, he wasted a lot of money on some average players, which were selling. Fulkrug's on the way out. The only one that's really worked to be signed is Todibo currently, and he's in the team doing all right at the moment. But then you don't just abandon that because you've had one director of football that hasn't worked. Like Sullivan signs our players. What other club in the Premier League has a chairman that thinks he's playing football manager and it only takes players off agent suggestions? We don't really have a scouting network. We're in bed with one particular agent who suggests players. It's like 1970. It's like 1997. Sullivan's run this club. I mean, look at our bench today. Right, I've got it in front of me. Right? Our bench. How's this going to change a Premier League game of football? Hermansen, Mavropanos, Igor Julio, Myers, Kante, Rodriguez, Souček, Irvin and Wilson. That is not a Premier League bench. I'm sorry. Look at Leeds bringing on Nonto tonight, making a change in the team. We are sleepwalking our way to relegation. We need 5 or 6 players in January. And are we going to get them? Probably not, because Sullivan won't pay the asking price. He lowballs always and say we tried and we'll probably get someone on loan. And it's just the same pattern over and over again. Sullivan's not fit to run this football club anymore. He's older, man.
Is Nuno good enough to run it, the team?
Well, 2 wins in 12. I wouldn't say so, personally. I mean, he's not been dealt a great hand with the squad, but come on, like, we're 2-0 up against Bournemouth, and he, parks the bus on the edge of the 18 box for 45 minutes. I mean, I don't really get him sometimes, Like, even today, just go and have a go at City. What's the point in sitting there waiting to get beat? It's just, well, we've got 2 big games coming up, Fulham and Brighton at home over Christmas. We don't win them, 6 points out of them, we're getting relegated. Because Leeds are now 6 points ahead of us. Forest are 4 points ahead of us. We're in trouble, bang in trouble.
You said you don't think that Sullivan and obviously the board will go big in the January transfer window, but that he's a businessman and he knows that West Ham's value that virtually halves if you go down into the Championship. So I think he knows he's got to speculate to accumulate. I think he knows that they've got to try. I think he knows he's got to try and go big in January because I think his end goal, I might be wrong, is like selling the club. So he makes, obviously, like money. And you ain't going to sell the club to investors if you get relegated into the Championship.
Yeah.
So it's huge. Reece is right. Everything he said there is 100% right. The manager's got to start playing the players in their best positions. And I don't think he'd have took the job without knowing that they were going to spend big in the January transfer window. Because Reece said if they don't, then there's every chance they could go down. I didn't think I'd say that because of the forward players that they have. I thought that would be enough. But obviously it isn't.
Assessment of the other games. Same game. City ticking along nicely. Another nice little 3-0 at home there. Just doing what they need to do, staying within touching distance of your boys.
Yeah, we got Cherky in good form and Phil Foden as well, just playing in behind Erling Haaland, and he does his little jogging around, doesn't he? Just jogs in and around the 18-yard box.
3 touches a match and
exactly.
the back of the net.
I'm going to score in a minute. Is exactly what he does. And I think Pep Guardiola is actually being realistic because I've seen Man City play a few times and I think they're still vulnerable. Teams that are playing against them, I think that teams think they can get at them. Obviously, I saw Gonzalez, who did play really well against Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace could have been 2 up before Man City end up going on to win the game. So they've lost that bit of authority, but when you've got someone up front like Haaland...
Yeah. Be interesting to see in January if Rodri can get back to some type of fitness and come back in. He's obviously struggling still with the injury from last year, isn't he? What did you make of the 2-2 between Newcastle and Chelsea, mate? Newcastle 2-0 up there and obviously let it slip.
Yep, I think with Newcastle, under Eddie Howe, they're going to score goals at home. It sounds like that's not their problem. I think they averaged 2 goals a game since he's gone there. It's just they can't see games out, especially against a young Chelsea team where you think, right, if you go like 2-0 up at half time or so Baltimore getting his 2 goals, you think all we've got to do now is manage the game. All we've got to do is be a bit physical, just keep the ball. You've got your 3 midfield, Guimaraes, Tonali and Ramsey. Maybe just tell them just to sit. And then for Chelsea get themselves back, brilliant free kick from Reece James, obviously gets them back in, and João Pedro getting the equaliser. So Chelsea showed a lot of spirit in that second half. Could you imagine the pylon that would have been if they'd have actually got beat? But Enzo Maresca's brought it on himself by saying about it was the worst 48 hours that he's had in his managerial career. Obviously, he wasn't alluding to it was from the owners. He was actually saying it was from the owners. And then, who would have thought it? A day later, a story comes out that he might be in the running to replace Pep Guardiola. I might be a conspiracy theorist, but it might have come from maybe Enzo's people. Who knows?
Who knows?
I
think we've been in football for a bit. Spurs, what do you make of this performance against Liverpool? Listen, Liverpool are hot and cold. When they're good, I mean, they can be great. There were certain moments today which I thought were good. I thought it was a pretty dull game for large percentages of it. But Tottenham just seem to be the bearers of their own downfall at times.
It's a strange thing because I think that Thomas Frank is a really good manager. But I'm starting to wonder whether he has that... and Tottenham are a big club, right? As a manager, you need to have a big personality. You have to have an ego and you have to put the message there that I'm the boss. And I go back, we talked off air, didn't we? I go back to the incident when Jed Spence and Van der Ven walked off the pitch and blanked him. He should have dropped them for the next game. Doesn't matter if Van der Ven's your best player and your captain, or whatever, you say, you do not disrespect me. So I'm not sure if the Spurs players are having Thomas Frank. I think there's a culture there. I think there's an ego culture. And the thing that, again, with managers don't make sense. Richarlison's in really good form at the minute. And he's got a brilliant record against Liverpool. Before this game, he scored 4 goals and 3 assists against Liverpool. It's the most against one team. So, when players get that feeling, he's in good form anyway.
Yeah.
and he puts him on the bench.
Yeah.
And he plays we played like a 4-2-2-2 with Simons and Kolo Muani up front. It doesn't make sense. Why put yourself under that pressure when you've got a forward who's in good form? And Richarlison is a disruptor. That's what he does. And Liverpool aren't great at the back of the minute. Konate's having a really poor time. Van Dijk has dropped off a level. So if there's one player that you thought would have been in the starting 11, it would have been Richarlison.
It doesn't help, though, when Simons does what he does and gets himself sent off, and then your captain acts like an absolute prat and gets himself sent off. Just as when you're thinking they're going to get back in this, even with 10 men, you were thinking Spurs might have a little bit of a nose here because Liverpool have fallen off for 10 minutes.
With the Simons one, right, he knows what he's doing. He knows that obviously he's gone down the back of Van Dijk's calf and he's pretending he's not looking. He's actually meant to hurt him there. And I know that people say, players don't mean to hurt players. Trust me, they do. Because what does he think is going to happen if he puts his 6 studs down the back of someone's calf and their Achilles? Yeah. And to be fair to Van Dijk, he didn't sort of roll about, did he, and make a massive meal of it.
He's not that type of guy.
So going down to 10 men again, that's brainless. Romero, who's supposed to be one of your leaders, you know what I mean, and set an example, gets sent off by kicking out at Konate. So,
well, he got the original booking was he was complaining that when Ekitike scored that he shoved him. Now you look at it, there's hands on his back.
No, he didn't.
He did have his hands on his back.
He's stronger.
Okay, I'm just painting at what happened. He had his hands on his back. And Ekitike got above him. Great header, great goal, right? What I'm saying is that he got booked for complaining in that particular moment.
Yeah, well, use that aggression to stop Ekitike heading the ball, because what you do is he didn't actually. I don't think what Ekitike did brilliantly is he jumped before Romero did.
Got up before.
And then what you do is you use them for leverage. You just put your arm out and you stop them from jumping and you get above them. Exactly what he did. Right. So what he should be doing is he should be backing into Ekitike, thinking, right, if I ain't heading it, I'm struggling.
Him, yeah.
All I'm going to do is I'm just going to knock you off balance. That sort of sums Romero up. They get themselves back into it, obviously, Richarlison scoring. I think it was interesting, obviously, Isak coming on and playing up front with Ekitike. Then, unfortunately, going off injured because Van der Ven...
Good finish, mate.
It was a brilliant finish.
Really good pass as well.
But you know when your luck's out, because Van der Ven, to be fair, is actually sliding across and he's legitimately trying to try and play the ball. But then he, crumples his ankle. So it'd be interesting to see how far he's out. But Ekitike, he's out of Liverpool's poor start. Well, not a poor start. They won their first 5, but then, they went on that horrendous. They lost 9 out of 12. Yeah. Ekitike was the one who was playing well and keeping his standards up. So him getting his goal today was a brilliant header.
I like Ekitike. I think he's.
Thing is, when you talk about transfer policies, they didn't need Isak. Ekitike is good enough to play up front for Liverpool.
They got him. I think they got Ekitike to that insurance just in case they didn't get Isak, though, did they? And then he's coming in at the ground running, and Isak's not really done much. And it's a shame, like you've said, just got injured today after scoring a goal. Who knows? He might have gone on for a wee bit of a run. We are going to look ahead before the end of the show to Aston Villa versus Man United. That's the only game that's taking place tomorrow. It's a 4:30 kickoff, and of course we've got Fulham and Nottingham Forest on Monday night. But next, you've been waiting for it, haven't you? You've been waiting to speak about
long run up. Is it a long run up?
The marathon that was Jake Paul's performance against Anthony Joshua. We'll talk about it next.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT. 26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Does that mean we're giving away 52k? What? We're double bubbling that? John in charge of the buttons there. It's 26. I just want to confirm it's not. It's definitely 26. All right.
talkSPORT management just like that. Wait,
everybody's panicking. It's definitely 26,000. And we're not doing it twice. We are giving away 26 grand for the new year, and this is how you do it. Text the word WIN to 83338. It'll cost you £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or call 0343 423 9761. Lines will close at 12 p.m. on the 9th of January. That's when you'll need your phone to answer. UK residents only. You've got to be over 18. This is a network promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com/win. For your chance to win £26,000. Text the word WIN to 83338. Do it now. Good luck.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Now, did you watch the boxing? When I said, did you watch the boxing?
Did
you watch the event?
Is that just two men in the ring, one man running away, and the other man thinking, I better not hit you too hard?
Well, you were on an entertainment channel in Netflix. You might have stumbled across the old Tom and Jerry show. That's what you might have stumbled across.
Or Lauren Hardy. Remember Lauren Hardy when he just kept running around?
Benny Hill. Yeah, all that type of carry on. For those that don't know what we're referring to, the event took place last night in Miami, Florida, didn't it? Between Jake and Joshua. Jake Paul managed to snaffle himself the opportunity to fight the two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world and Olympic gold medalist, Anthony Joshua. Joshua got the job done, taking Jake Paul out in the 6th round. The aftermath, we have learned that Jake Paul has broken his jaw in 2 particular places. He's had his surgery, he's had metal plates put in there, and he'll be eating his Christmas dinner through a straw. That is what it sounds like. But all in all, it wasn't... listen, for anybody that listened to any of my stuff in the build-up to this, you know full well my thoughts on it as a boxing contest. It shouldn't have been taking place. Florida State Athletic Commission, absolute shambles of a place to even commission this as a boxing event, but it did because there was a lot of money involved, and these guys made an incredible amount of money. I think I had it quoted yesterday at upwards of $90 million. I originally was told that it was 50, but $90 million.
Got to pay tax on that, though. Or have they?
Mate, I don't care what it is. $90 million to have a little bit of a roll around and a little bit of a circus really last night. I've got plenty of thoughts. We've got callers coming in, so I'm going to get you on the radio in a minute. 03717 223344. But from a Jake Paul point of view, he must have set a new 10-kilometre record last night because he did some serious mileage, didn't he? He's got blisters on his feet. He's got cauliflower knees. He spent the majority of his time on the blooming deck, and he only really took one punch off Anthony Joshua. It's what I would like to class as an elite bank robbery. It's not... I've seen loads of people in the aftermath of this pouring praise towards Jake Paul. Oh, he's got big cojones. You've got to have big balls to be getting in the ring with Anthony Joshua and doing that. Do you? Really? This is the classic case of that playground conversation that we all used to have. What would you do for 50 million? Most people listening to this show right now, if we were to say to you, right, I'll give you 50 million quid, get in the ring with the heavyweight champion and let him whack you. Most people would say yes. There's nothing brave about that. Everybody's got a price. It sorts you out for the rest of your life, doesn't it? And that's exactly what Jake Paul did. He just got to play it out in real life. He got on his bike, he ran. Anytime he got tired, he dived on the floor. People kept saying to me, oh, he kept getting knocked down and getting up. No, he didn't. He kept diving on the floor. If that was an amateur contest, he'd have had points taken off him, and he might even have been disqualified for the amount of times he spent on the deck. He took one real punch, and he made 50 million quid. Fair play to him, man. He's an elite businessman. He used the greedy to hoodwink the stupid. Fair play to him. I have nothing but admiration for him as a businessman, but when it comes to him from a boxing contest, there's not much there for me to celebrate from AJ's point of view. And this is interesting because people have been a little bit harsh, I think, on AJ. my overriding thoughts is, if you work with clowns, you're part of the circus, right? 6 rounds is where people are going to criticise him. It took him 6 rounds to take out Jake Paul. Well, when someone doesn't want to fight, it's very hard to knock them out. When someone's on a bike cycling around the edge of a ring, it's very difficult to shut them down and take them out. However, what I will say is, for the first 4 rounds, did AJ really throw anything? Was he fighting within himself? Did he cut the ring off? Are his feet really that bad? Or could he just not be bothered? Until Jake Paul slowed down and stood right in front of him. Did he have a little bit of empathy at certain points? He only really hit him once. Didn't hit him, did he? He only hit him once, and it ended the fight. Maybe there's 50 million reasons why Anthony Joshua doesn't really care about anybody's opinion. Like I said, he went to work with the clowns, and he became part of the circus. The big 2 overriding things for me is this. From a fight point of view, it's poor that the Florida State Athletic Commission commissioned that as a proper boxing event, because the most amount of eyeballs on any boxing event took place last night, because it's on Netflix. I think they've got 3 billion blooming subscribers worldwide, or whatever it may be. So God knows what the numbers of the amount of people tuning into that last night, expecting a boxing match, and it was pitched as a boxing match, a professional boxing match. It wasn't a professional boxing match in any way, shape or form, only by name. Should never have been sanctioned because of the levels in disparity between the two contestants. So I think boxing as a sport was tarnished last night because of that event. The learn that I would give to any fighter tuning into that last night is, your skills are not going to get you paid. Your skills might get you up the rankings. It might get you into a particular position. You might snaffle yourself a belt, but your skills aren't going to get you paid. Build a profile. In this mad game, popularity is more important than ability. And that is proof last night. You've got a guy that would not win a British title. He got beat off Tommy Fury, and he walked away with $90 million. In a sport that many people have spent all their lives trying to hone and craft. It's absolutely crackers. Absolutely crackers, but that's the world that we're living in. So if you're a fighter, you've got any type of talent right now, start building your social media. Start getting yourself a podcast. Start building yourself content online. Make people care about you. Build an audience, because that's the only way I think that you're going to make any real dough in this game. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's sad that the world that we live in right now, mate.
Do you know what? It's actually scary, because you mentioned boxing. It wasn't. It was a prize fight. That's what
perfect. Perfect name for it.
It was a prize fight.
Yeah.
But what happened? You said about Jake Paul going in there, taking one punch in the face, getting it. It could be $70 million, $80 million, whatever. I get that, but on a human level, the people around him didn't give a rat's backside about his welfare. Because let's be honest. No. You can die in boxing anyway at the elite level. You know the dangers when you go through the right. And my admiration, you love your boxing, obviously brilliant expert. I love my boxing. My admiration is to go through the ring. You're putting your life on the line basically every time you get into the ring. Okay. Yeah. From Jake Paul's point of view, there's people around him who are making millions of dollars as well, by the way, not just him. Yeah. So they didn't give on a human level. They weren't bothered at all about him, because they would have been pumping him up, going, yep, you've got a chance, you get yourself fit, you make yourself out of trouble, blah, blah. They didn't care about him on a human level. Now, everybody's rich, which is fine. From Anthony Joshua's point of view, he's in the ring knowing if he unleashes and he goes full out with his power, he could end somebody's life. That's how brutal and drastic it was. So from Anthony Joshua's point of view, someone saying to him, we give you 70 million quid. You know you aren't going to get hurt, number one. You know you're not going to lose. And in your head, on a human level, I think he reined himself in. Because when it's like fight or flight stuff, when you're in the ring, right? So boxers fight. They know they've got to hurt the other opponent before they hurt them. That's what the game is, right?
Yeah.
He knew that Jake Paul...
There's no jeopardy.
Exactly. He knew that Jake Paul couldn't hurt him. Even with his best punch... He knew. So as a human level, he's standing in that ring thinking, for my own credibility, I've got to knock you out, but I've got to try and knock you out where I'm not hurting you as much as what I could if I unleashed. Yeah. And with the punch you said that he landed, it's not his best punch, his most powerful punch, right? Yep. And he's shattered his jaw in 2 places, right? So Anthony Joshua gets his 70 million, whatever it is. But I think he's sitting there thinking, thank God for that. Thank God. On a human level, I've come out, all right, sort of not reputation, but I haven't hurt him as bad as
Mate,
what I could have.
There should be an awful amount of people breathing a massive sigh of relief. Anybody that put that fight together, Athletic Commissions, like you said,
It wasn't a fight.
No, it wasn't at all. Like you said, it was a prize
Yes.
fight. It was an event. If Anthony damages him, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of stress to deal with. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he's bleeding the side of relief. The team that have put him in there, that have negotiated that for him, but the authorities that put that on and commissioned it as a proper boxing match, I've no doubt.
Does that go on his? Because
yeah, it's a professional boxing.
Do you know what? If I was Joshua, I would be saying I don't want that on my record.
Well,
but for the credibility of them putting the fight on, they would have said to him, "No, we've got to say this. It's been commissioned. It's going to be a proper fight." And I found it. I love my boxing, but I just find the whole thing really, really unedifying. You said about get followers. You mentioned Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is nowhere near his level of getting like a British title fight or whatever. Nowhere near. So it's basically he's like
beat Jake Paul.
Well, beat Jake Paul. But see,
but what I'm saying is that that's 100. I stand by that, and I think Tommy would admit that. You know what I mean? To become a British champion is a very prestigious thing to do, and I think he would struggle to do that. In the UK.
But I think when I was reading, he got £5.6 or £6 million from obviously because his name's Tommy Fury, and he's got the followers, right? Yeah. I find that got no problem with the people doing it if you can get the money, but I find that really scary because someone is going to get hurt really, really badly. That's the only thing that I can see. People might get rich around it. Boxing's a dangerous sport. It is proper boxing, proper boxers. Putting these people, which is a complete mismatch, is frightening.
Sam, how are you, mate?
Is me, Sammy?
Yeah.
Hello, Sam.
Sammy, mate. How are you, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys? Good seeing you both.
And you, mate. What do you want to say, pal?
Yeah, I think we got away with one again. I agree with Perry. I agree with you. I think I'm happy that Jake Wood didn't seriously get hurt, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He did get injured. I hope he makes a speedy recovery. And I think boxing, the commissioners have to take a lesson from this. It just money. Unfortunately, money speaks at the moment because the main event, the co-main event was for me was those are the kind of fights I want to see. The girls, Bodyguard and Birmingham.
Yeah. And obviously Caroline Dubois was on that as well. Mate, you've hit it on the head there, right? The commissions and the States Athletics over in the States, Florida in particular, because they're the most guilty of this. They're not bothered, mate, because they're making dough. They're making money. There's money coming through Miami last night, the amount of tourists that have been coming through, obviously, to sanction that and to commission that fight. There's money going through their books. They ain't bothered, pal.
Do you know what, Adi? The morals and principles in boxing, even proper boxing at the elite level, they can be questionable sometimes.
Oh, massively.
Right? But I think this goes to a different, lower level. I think, as you said there, on people just making millions and millions of pounds, but not bothered about health and life, basically.
Exactly. We'll finish with Steve. Steve, how are you, mate?
Hello, mate. Evening.
Hi, Steve.
Great to speak to you again, Steve. Go on, pal. Give me some insight, my man.
Well, yeah, I mean, last night, the only thing that was really important to me, like the most interesting factor like leading into it, was what was Joshua's performance going to be like. And the most disappointing element of last night was the lack of quality in the undercard, like the lack of depth. I know that there was a lot of women showcased, but I also feel they missed a trick. So, starting with the undercard, I feel that when Jake Paul's fought in the past against Tyson and against Chavez Jr., there was a strength to the undercard, that almost justified people like us having
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it completely, mate. Yeah, I think he's just showcasing the people on his MVP, isn't he? He's just saying Caroline Dubois, hence her being a bomb.
Now, obviously, from that point of view, fine. But I watched the fights, and I didn't really see any quality. And sometimes there can be a fight that can surprise you. But you hinted at it just now about the commission allowing 3 minutes for the women.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's another argument. But again, it's almost. It's audacious and ridiculous that they was even allowed to do that. But unfortunately, unsurprising. Going back to Joshua's performance, I had no doubt that he would be victorious. I was always a little bit apprehensive, though, about how he was going to go about his business. And I think that Joshua, he kind of fell into his own trap of maybe even subconsciously relying too much on that, one-punch KO highlight reel. And I think that the tactics that he was employing, he wasn't allowing himself to kind of stalk and close down Jake properly. And it made for quite a frustrating first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
But I think he's obviously got a brand new training team. And once they sort of instilled in him from about the third round onwards that he needed to be, more sensible and cleverer by going in with, the jabs, feinting, actually throwing his hands, you could see the success,
But Steve, don't you think, though, I'm going to use the word credibility, which I don't really want to use, but for the commission sanctioning the fight and everything's going on around it, that even Anthony Joshua thought, I can't knock him out in the first round. I think there's a bit of that, without a shadow of a doubt.
I think he was within himself, yeah. I understand what Steve's saying there. His feet did look poor. He was following him around the ring.
Yeah, but he hasn't trained to the level that he would normally train at, is he?
No, I wouldn't think
so. What he's done, he's gone in the gym, hasn't he? He's got himself in decent shape. He's had a bit of sparring.
He's had to lose a bit of weight.
Exactly, but he's done a bit of sparring, whatever, because he knows that when you're going into a fight and you know that you can't get hurt, you aren't going to push yourself to levels. It'll be interesting to see. Everybody's now waiting for Joshua Fury.
One
that
thing
is it.
I'll tell you what, here we go. We'll finish on this. This is the conclusion, right? One thing that definitely comes out of last night is that we don't need any interim fights in the build-up to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Absolutely not. There's no point in risking the duel that people want in 2026 with interim fights, because I'll tell you what, Tyson Fury, even coming off the couch after 2 years or whatever it is, 15 months, and taking on anybody in the top 15, might struggle. Anthony Joshua absolutely will with anybody in the top 15. I know that they were talking last night about Rico Verhoeven, who is a kickboxer out of Holland, who's making the transition over maybe into MMA or into boxing. Maybe it's going to be him. I think that's dangerous. I really do. There is absolutely no need for any interim fights between those guys. Let's just stop messing about. You've been talking about it for 10 years. Stop talking the talk. Let's walk the walk. Let's get that fight on. We'll preview the football next. been having a little bit of a chat in the break about what does Jake Paul do next. Well, he eats his Christmas dinner through a straw first. He counts his 50 million quid.
Don't you think he's being fed his Christmas
Yeah, he
dinner?
probably
He'll
is.
have someone in his entourage.
He'll have a harem of people sorting him out.
Cutting his food up, chopping it up for him.
And I've no doubt he'll try and make himself a fight with Canelo. Yeah, I said it. Watch this space, 2026. I bet he tries to make a fight with Canelo. Anyway, let's move on to some football, shall we? Let's talk about
some real sport.
Should we talk about some actual competition?
Where there's jeopardy.
Yes, let's talk about that, mate. Because there's only one game tomorrow, but it is a good one. Manchester United away at Aston Villa. You look at that on paper and you think to yourself, oh, that'll be a bit of a tasty game. But history favours Manchester United. They like a little away day down at Villa Park, these boys.
Yeah, but if you look at Aston Villa, won last 9 matches on the trot in all comps, and 15 in the last 17 after like a dodgy start. And talk about managers, like Unai Emery is in the top echelon.
I love it.
He got swallowed up a little bit when he was at Arsenal because there was a poor culture there and there was big-time Charlies there, Ozil and Aubameyang. And same thing at PSG. I think he's learnt from that and he's thought, right, I'm not going to indulge. And I was lucky enough to be at his first game for Aston Villa where they beat Manchester United at home 3-1.
Yes, they did.
And I think Villa were, under Steven Gerrard, I think they dropped to about 15th and they were awful. And he just went in and within one game, they were completely more organised. Do you know what I mean? And they had more structure. I think he went 4-2-3-1. So I must admit, I don't think that Manchester United are going to be able to handle the athleticism and the intensity of Aston Villa. I think they're going to struggle at Villa Park.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think if you look like with Tielemans, who's playing really well in the 10 position, you got Morgan Rogers in really good form, obviously on the left hand side. Kamara and Onana, like the two holding midfield players. From Man United's point of view, obviously, Mbeumo was AFCON.
Yeah,
Kuna is playing really well. Obviously, got his goal against Bournemouth. Casemiro suspended.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Who ends up playing alongside Bruno Fernandes? Kobe Mainu?
Oh, look at you.
See?
Throwing the cat amongst the
A
pigeons.
little bit left fielder.
Yeah.
Put it this way, if he doesn't play, he's got no future at Man United.
Yeah, the team selection is going to be very, very interesting. What have you made of Manchester United this year? Have you seen an upturn in some way?
The only thing with Manchester United is they couldn't be as bad this season as what they were last year. So there was going to be an upturn. But I think Ruben Amorim, I just think that he talks too much. I agree, actually, he talks too much, but I agree with him what he said about the entitlement culture. I get that completely at Manchester United. You know, with the younger players, we get younger players, they're people posting stuff on, you know, social media. How dare you have a go at us? How dare you question us? Whatever. You play for Manchester United, so your levels are judged at a high level. And with young players, it's wind your neck in. Just because you play for Manchester United doesn't give you any entitlement. So I get that, but that's up to him to change that culture. And he's been there long enough now. Obviously, he'll say that, you know, he's got his forward players in what he needs. Still think that they struggle at the back. Luke Shaw, I think, epitomises everything that is wrong with Manchester United. Because I think with Luke Shaw that he always plays within himself. He always plays.
Is that fear of injury?
I don't know. I just think he's got that thing where you look at him and you think there's so much more of a player that's in you. I don't think he ever pushes himself to the limits that he go to. When you play within yourself, I think he gets knocked off the ball a little bit too easy. So I think he's one of the players that I'll be amazed if he's still there at the end of the season. But they've got other problems, obviously, at the centre-half position. Euro and Heaven, obviously, young at the centre-half. So I just think that Villa are going to have too much.